Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Toad TV. I'm Mary Beth.
I'm Helen.
This is Dudley. Say hello, Dudley. We are the creative hands, minds, and paws behind Toad Hollow. And today we did a video in our stories about hanging the quilt wall. It's gray flannel from Cafe, and it's for hanging your quilt pieces. And then on our Patreon page, we have a video of us putting together the pieces of Helen's mandolin and picking out the colors that will be filling in her last 4 pieces.
Right. I have the mandolin quilt is my English paper piecing quilt that I'm working on, and I have 8 of the 12 blocks completed, and I wanted to hang them up to see what order I wanted them in and what colors I was missing before I went ahead and just willy-nilly picked colors for the last 4. So we've figured all that out this morning, and I get to move forward with that today. So
Right.
I'm very excited.
Busy morning.
Yeah. While
Very
I'm
busy.
editing, I will be cutting fabric.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's a nice way to spend your time.
Yeah.
Okay. Very
So I got lots to edit. Hello, Dudley.
Lisa, Heather, Dudley says hello. I don't know if you can hear him purring or not, but he is very, very happy.
Yes. And he is shedding.
Shedding, very much so. Okay, so we are sort of back from our staycation. We are back as in we are videoing, podcasting, but other than that, we're going to continue on for another
Right.
day or so just because we haven't finished everything that we wanted to do. So
Day, week,
Yeah.
month.
it's all the same.
We will fit things in. Like we're gonna get out the Agatha Christie soon. We have to get the Dragonfly animal boxes out.
Right.
So yeah.
Quick bit of admin. Agatha Christie is still available if you have not purchased it yet. However, do it quickly because we are running out. We only dyed a certain number, so once they're gone, they're gone.
Right.
So if you would like to purchase one of those, go over to our website, toadhollowNJ.com, and look for Agatha Christie, and it will come right up. It is a mystery sock set that we send out every month, and we pick a different book from Agatha Christie's vast lexicon of books, and we put it together. We dye yarn to go with it. Sometimes it looks like the cover. Sometimes it looks like what we think it should be.
Right.
And you always get a full skein of yarn and a 20-gram mini skein that are good for heels, toes, and cuffs. It is always in our sock toad, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon.
Yes.
Okay, so that is
And I will
available.
put links down below.
Okay. Then Helen also mentioned the Dragonfly animal guide box. Every month we're doing an animal guide box. We were doing it last year. Unfortunately, we had to take a break because of, life. But we are back. We're starting with the Dragonfly. We have gotten in all the extras that go with it. Really cool. This is going to be such a good box
this month.
Such
It
a good
really is.
box.
Yeah.
The only thing we haven't done yet is dye the yarn. But that's coming up soon.
But that's secondary to all the cool stuff that's coming in the box.
But we will be doing that shortly, and those will be going out by the end of the month.
Right. And
But those
there
are
like,
also
one or
available
two still available on that one.
So if you want to go ahead and purchase that, you have the option of just getting the yarn or the yarn plus the goodies. But I gotta tell you, you're getting so much stuff
Yeah.
for the box this month. We found a great place where we can get wholesale stuff, and these artists are so gorgeous.
Yeah.
The stuff that they make, I'm so excited about these.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good one. So Dragonfly box, go to our website, search Dragonfly, it should come right up. Or Animal Guide Box. I think actually search Animal Guide Box and it should come up.
Again, link down below.
Okay, so while we've been on staycation, we've been doing lots of things.
Yes.
Lots of things.
Lots of different
None of
things and
them
fun
really involve leaving the house.
Well, I mean, it
that's-
was a staycation.
Right, but we
We
were...
contemplated it one day when it was gorgeous, but it was a weekend day, and we're like, it was Sunday actually, and we're like, traffic.
Yeah.
And
Besides,
people.
it's just... What I was trying to get from this was relaxing, not stressing about anything, and making stuff. Just all the different things that I've wanted to make over the past couple of months, actually taking time to do them.
Right.
I haven't done nearly all of them yet, so that's why we're continuing, but I've started.
Right.
So what would you like to start with? Because I think we each have the same number of things to show.
Let's start with our pouches.
Okay. All right. A while ago, we bought a bunch of bag patterns from different designers. So Sweetness is one, and Anila Hoey is another one. And we picked the Anila Hoey booklet pouch to start with.
Right.
All right, so I decided to go bright.
We did the large size because the pattern comes with 2 different sizes, and we decided to do
Right.
large because go big or go home.
Right. Also, first time doing this, so there are a lot of things that I am going to have to change and get better at because things are sticking out where they're not supposed to be sticking out and that kind of thing. But
It's a bit fiddly to do, but it's
I think the more we do it,
Right.
the easier it's going to get, the better it's going to get. Just like with anything, the more you do it, the better it gets.
Yeah.
All right, so here is mine. I decided to go with the Alice Curiouser fabric. So my outside fabric is the Queen of Hearts. The first thing I'm going to change is I'm going to make sure that I sew my toad in on the top so that it's not upside down. You have a zipper.
first thing I'm going to do is sew my toad in.
You get a zipper that you open up. And then I did the Sea of Tears as my inside fabric. And then you have
4.
2,
Four.
well, oh, okay, so 4 pouches that you have vinyl with, so you can put stuff in them. So you have 4 zippered pouches that you get to put things in. So my zippered pouches that I chose to do were, that's the Cheshire Cat on the mustard color. That is the teacups. There's the big bleeding rose on the green, and then Alice falling through the rabbit hole on the blue. And then that's the other side. I haven't put anything in this yet. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another one and then I have one for each of the 2 sewing machines that I use on a regular basis. And I'm going to have scissors and my bobbins for that particular machine and thread, extra thread for it. And the scissors will be with the tools too, or I may put the tools in here, depends on what else I need. But I have like my extra feet that I use. I always use a zipper foot and my straight 1/4 inch foot, that kind of thing. So I'll make sure I have the feet that I need for each machine and the screwdrivers and the brush that I use for cleaning it and that kind of thing.
Your little square rulers and
Right, all these in the pouch that will then be with each of the machines so that it's always there right next to it. I'll have clips in one of them, so I always have clips available, and it will be there for me to have. And I absolutely love this. I use the light suited and booted for all my binding. One of the big things I have to do is get my binding down straight because my binding is kind of all over the place, but I think it looks pretty good for my first try.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased with it.
And again,
I love it.
when we were binding, we were fiddling with the zipper because we had to cut down the zipper. So just little things that we're going to do differently next time.
Right, and also
So-
just practice.
Yeah.
Practice. But, oh my God, is she not
Yeah.
awesome? I mean, she is absolutely awesome. And if I stand them up, like in a bookshelf type of thing, look at it. That's how it's going to be. I lined her up so she would be like that. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. It's got an orange zipper.
So I went softer. I used the Farm Fresh line that we have. So got strawberries with flowers is my binding. Nice yellow zipper. My inside.
Oh my God, your inside is just
The butterflies.
one of my favorite fabrics.
And then I have ducks. And I'm actually using mine. And then this is another one. So this is all set up for my English paper piecing for my mandolin quilt. So in one of them I have my pattern and my acrylic templates. And then I have all my tools, my scissors, my thread, my glue, all that. And then the actual paper pieces, there are a lot of them, so they are in the other 2 pouches.
That's so cool.
So now,
I'm so impressed.
instead of trying to squeeze everything into I had a square plastic tin that I had everything in, and it was like, you know, sorting through everything and flopping through, and it's like, oh, okay, I need my acrylic templates. I'll just go to my pouch. So.
Oh, that is really fantastic.
I really, really.
Cool.
Very cool. So it's the Booklet Pouch by Anila Hui. We will link the pattern down below should anybody want to do it. We are also going to later on have kits for the ones that Mary Beth and I do. So if you want to do this thing.
I'm not sure I would put that in
Okay.
yet. Let's wait and do that when we actually do it.
Okay.
See if anybody gets in touch with us about it.
Okay. So we'll link the pattern down below. And again, as Mary Beth said, if it goes on a shelf, that's the spine of my book. Very cool.
Well, now I'm not going to use mine for my sewing machine. I'm going to put my paper piecing in it because it looks so cool.
Well, and it's perfect for it because
It really is.
Just flipping through, trying to wear
And
my
when am I
acrylic
doing
pieces.
my sunshine or my sunrise quilt out of?
Right.
Mostly curious.
Yeah.
So I should really, okay,
And then we'll make more for our
Reboot.
sewing machine.
go back. Who knows, there may be another project that we do that's going to be absolutely perfect
Right.
for a sewing machine. But right now I think, never mind, I'm doing paper piecing in mine.
But I'm going to make a whole bunch of these because I really like them and I think they're very versatile.
Also, it's a great way to use this gorgeous fabric.
Right. Right.
So yeah. And it was a little bit fiddly, but it did not take, I mean, once we get the hang of it, it's not going to take long to make them.
Oh, yeah. And it's more, as you said, once you get the hang of it. And my biggest thing was the cutting down the zipper and her way of telling you to
Right.
do it. I would personally do it another way so it wasn't quite so fiddly getting it sewn in and bound.
Right.
So, and breaking of needles.
Oh yes, we broke quite a few needles. However, we're learning.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Very cool. All right. One of
And
the
it was very exciting to actually make the pouch finally.
we've been sitting on this for months. I mean, literally months.
The great thing about doing it was, as Mary Beth said, it was the stress-free. You know, I had all the time in the world to make all the mistakes and take
Right.
them out. It wasn't like I'm stressing, like, oh, this is taking way too long because I'm supposed to be doing something else. It was just
Oh
like,
yeah, no, I took out a lot of stitches.
I mean, we did this over. This
3
would
days?
be like an afternoon project
Right.
normally, but with all the mistakes and the
Also, like
laid backness and
bumping in and
Right.
stuff. It's
we
it
did
took
it
us
over
about
a
3
couple
days.
days, but yeah. So it was just very nice to do it relaxed.
Right, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So I do want to make lots of them.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of a bookshelf.
So do I. All your paper piecing
Right.
projects are right there.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay. One of the first things I did was I did a paper project. I took, I had gotten from Graphic 45 all the pieces to make to make greeting cards out of the Catch of the Day paper line, which is all the ocean. And I don't enjoy making cards as much as other things, so I decided what I wanted to do. I had seen somebody make an envelope journal where they made a book full of envelopes that you can stick things in. So I thought, oh, I'm going to do that and use this paper to do it. So what I did was I took some Tim Holtz fabric.
They teach you how to bind it with a box, right?
Yes, I took an old cracker box and cut it apart and put it in the pieces, got it in the right section and everything. And then I covered it with Tim Holtz fabric. And then I took the Catch of the Day paper and made envelopes. These are all envelopes that you can open up and put things in. I can put stickers if I want, because I ordered a whole bunch of stickers. Or I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this as a budgeting thing. I watched somebody doing a video on how she takes a portion of her paycheck every week and she divides it up. This much goes into a slush fund in case something happens to her car. This one goes into saving for a house. This much goes into her vacation. And she split it up and she knows exactly what percentage of each paycheck will go into each of her things. And then periodically she goes through and counts all the money in her little envelopes, which is very satisfying. And then she has a thing that when she hits $1,000, she prints out a fake $1,000 bill and puts that in and puts the cash into the bank, so she knows in her bank account $1,000 is going towards that particular fund. But I think that's such a great way of budgeting for things that are coming up that you might want to do. So we were figuring out, you know, put aside some for books and some for dogs and some for vacation and some for paying off the car and that kind of thing, and some for saving for a house, you know, whatever we want to do, put it all together so that you have your own little cash box or your cash envelope.
So now, was this a Instagram video that you did, or
it was on
YouTube?
TikTok. It was on TikTok that she was doing it and going through and counting her things.
So I can probably
making the book, that was YouTube.
Okay, so I'll put a link down below if you guys want to follow along with the YouTube and make your own.
I will try and figure out which one I followed to make it so that she can link to it.
We'll try and link it down below. If we didn't, Mary Beth
failed.
gets an F for content creation.
Yes. But it's really cool. I love this. I think it's very, very pretty. I love the little envelopes. I used a We Are Memories Keeper all-in-one tool that we had gotten for Christmas. And it's got a spot that you make envelopes, so it shows you how to make the envelopes. And so I made all the envelopes out of 8x8 paper. And then periodically throughout, I have just a plain card that I think I'm going to put a bottom piece on, and I will have it for notes and things like that.
Yeah, you can put like have like ledgers, like on this day I put $20 in or whatever.
Yeah, I could. That's right. I could do that.
Yeah.
Have a little ledger there. So, all right. So that's my little journal book. Is that cute? Love that. Okay, moving on.
Okay.
What's next?
All right, so okay, we'll talk about this. Disaster. Okay, it's not a disaster. A couple of years ago, when we first started cross stitching, I decided I was going to make all the Hades, which are Heaven and Earth designs. They're giant full coverage cross stitch pieces. I found some designs that I absolutely adored. It's from when we first found Cheryl Baker, the artist we love so much.
Did you get any of hers?
I did. She has since, her Heaven and Earth designs have since been retired. There were some Amy Stewart's that we absolutely adored.
Oh, yeah.
And I started one which is called The Secret Parade. And over the couple of years, this is as far as I have gotten doing it. I have done several different methods I'm learning as I go what is the best way to do it. Right now, the best way for me, this is 25 count Lugana that I have grid myself. And I am doing 2 strands of thread, 1 cross. I'm not doing a full cross, I'm doing a half cross. And I'm doing it on the diagonal, so for each page of my pattern, I've made diagonal sections, and I only stitch in that one diagonal section at a time. So in the diagonal section, I will go and stitch all the stitches of one color, move on to the next color, and then once it's done, and then I will park it in the next color. See, this one is parked in the next one.
By parking, you mean that you're finished with it for that particular section, and you just move it to the next section and stick it in there.
And then just move it to the next stitch, and I mark on my pattern. I do this all in GoodNotes, so I mark on my pattern any stitch that's marked blue, highlighted blue, that means it's a parked thread, and it's waiting till I get to that section.
Okay.
So that's as far as I got. I had all my threads in little DMC thread boxes, done by number, because this takes like 150 threads, and that was annoying to me. So then I saw somebody else. I've been kind of watching over the last several months. I kind of go through and watch YouTubes of other people who do the Hades and see how they're doing them, because I'm trying to figure out, do I want to continue with this project or do I want to scrap it? Because Hades to me are really for people who cross stitch all the time, because you actually have a chance of finishing it.
And that's all you do.
Right, that's like your craft, and that is, we all know. I don't do just one thing.
Yeah. Please. That's boring.
So I'm trying to kind of decide whether I'm going to continue on with this and set aside time for it, or just be like, okay, I love cross-stitching my other stuff. And I have so much other stuff that I want to do. Sooner or later something's got to give. But what I did was to see if this made it easier for me and made it more palatable for me to want to continue it, was I found somebody was using these plastic thread keepers that I found on Amazon. So that I did this. So now they are all in numerical order, and I just know to go find it, and it's right there. It kind of works better, but it's a lot. And I got it a bigger hoop. And I think the biggest thing is if I decide I'm going to continue it and give it the time it deserves, then I will ultimately end up with a stand to hold because I think that will make things the easiest. But right now I'm leaning towards putting it aside. I have so many other things, like, my bags.
When you do a stand, how much fabric on the side do you need to hold it in?
What do you mean?
It depends on. Have a tremendous amount up here.
No, it depends on how big the stand is.
Okay.
The stands generally hold them on the sides. The ones
Okay.
that I've seen.
Okay.
Or it can be a stand that just holds my hoop.
Okay.
Because a lot of people stitch with both hands so that they have their left hand underneath guiding the needle up, and then the right hand is on top.
Right.
Which, if you don't have a stand, it's kind of so.
A lot of pricking.
Right. So it's going off to the side again for right now. Even though looking at it, and I know the Amy Stewart, and I know the other Amy Stewarts that we have, because we have a magic carousel pattern. But I mean, really, I'm never going to finish it. And there's such a satisfaction. I'll show you my next cross stitch project and the one that I'm working on. Seeing it come, I see progress every time I work on it. And it brings me much more joy than this does. So what I should probably just do is buy a poster of the Secret Parade and hang it in my room.
What I think you should do is keep it all together, put it aside, because there will come a time where you are, you know what? I need an epic project, and I'm ready for this,
Right.
and it will be all ready to go, and all the threads will be ready. We'll put it in a box so that the funk doesn't get to it, and it'll just be put away somewhere. We just have to know where we put it.
Yeah. So that's where the Hade stands. I thought I was going to do it, and I was going to get a lot of it going again on this staycation we're on. But I realized while we're doing this that there's so much I want to do. I want an English paper piece, and I want to make machine quilts, and we have a whole bunch of bags that we want to do, and paper projects, and all of that. And I always want to do it more than I want to do this.
Right.
So
that gets put away for a
that
little
gets
bit.
put away for
And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Just,
there's just that little bit of me that's like, oh, but imagine when you finish it.
It will be beautiful, but finish it when you're in the right mind to do it.
The pattern has, I believe, for the size that I chose, I think it has 35 pages to the pattern. This is a page and a quarter.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Put it aside.
Right. So,
Okay.
the Hade goes away.
Do you want to show your other cross stitch since
Okay.
that it kind of feeds right into it?
So the other one, and this one I have actually spent quite a bit of time on, is my Banjo Playing Possum.
Because how could you not do a project that is called the Banjo Playing Possum?
Threader. And that is how much I have done on my Banjo Playing Possum. I will insert a picture of the completed project, but so now when I sit down and do him, like the other day, I did a pumpkin all in one like half-hour sitting. I did that pumpkin there. And it's just like, look, that's progress.
Yeah,
Whereas
that
it's,
definite is.
I put in 150 green stitches of like 20 varying shades of green. that until you like step back and see the whole thing together, you never actually see whether, am I putting them in the right, am I doing it right?
Right.
So, yeah, so Banjo playing Possum.
Love him. Absolutely love him.
Oh, look at that. So,
He's very cool.
I will continue to work on him. Just throwing things all over the place.
You are. All right. One of the things that I did do is I cut my quilt. We were supposed to do quilts. I was going to make the Rise and Shine quilt.
This was from the quilt book that we showed several episodes ago, and we each randomly picked a quilt to do and picked the fabric,
Right.
and we're going to do it.
So my fabric that I picked called for 16 fat quarters that I cut apart. The fabric that I chose had 17 fat quarters, which worked out very nicely because the 17th I'm going to be using as my cornerstones, which if you are not a quilter, they are the corners, the square pieces that are at the four corners of your quilt. A lot of times if you have a border going around, you will have a different color square at each of the four corners, and those are called the cornerstones. So I have cut all my pieces. I have them all cut apart and ready to go. I just need to start sewing. So this was one day's worth of work.
So did you cut everything?
I did not. What I did do was each of the baggies has a particular color, and all the pieces are cut out in that color, are in that baggie. Then I have my leftovers.
But you still have to cut all this, like the little squares, right?
But I am going to be using this as one of my background fabrics. I have cut, they tell you to cut 3 17 by width of fabric and 4 5-inch by width of fabric. I have cut those cuts. I have not subcut those down into the 80 little squares.
So you've
or
subcut all
rectangles.
your fat quarters, but you haven't subcut the background.
Right, I just cut the original cuts. So I didn't have to carry around 3 bolts of fabric. So that is done and ready to go. I will take another morning and do my subcutting of my background fabrics, and then I will be all set and I will start sewing. But I have made the first step.
Right.
So that's my quilt. That's the status of that quilt. It's on its way.
I haven't done anything towards mine yet.
Let's talk yarn, because I have 2 yarny things to show.
Okay, go first.
All right, so my first one is the knit along that we are doing. That's going to be starting this coming Friday. I cast mine on already because it takes me so much longer than you guys. So I have started mine. I am doing the knit along. Helen is doing the crochet along. I am doing mine. It's the open bar on Ravelry by Callie Monster from Monster Knits. And I am doing mine in Into the Deep, the Jellyfish Guards.
I did this color. I just love this color so much.
And the Lost Empire.
I'm so glad I held it for you.
So am I. Good? Okay, there we go. Those are the 3 of them together. This is as far as I've gotten in it. Yeah, that's the right one. There are 3 different types of stitches. This is the stamen stitch. This is the chevron stitch. And then this is the ripple stitch. I absolutely love that.
Oh my god, the ripple with the Lost Empire and then to the deep.
Okay,
Actually, all 3 of them together are stunning. This is just going to be such a gorgeous shawl.
it is. It's really, really pretty. So this is how far I've gotten. I am going to continue along. I work on it a little bit every day. I have 2 different shawls that I'm knitting, so I try and get a little bit done each day. Doesn't necessarily always happen that way, but I do try. And they are being held in my turtle bag. That was our latest bag that we released. So that is that. It's coming along. Okay, and Helen is doing the crochet.
So I'm doing the Crochet Along, which is the Endless Seasons Light Shawl by the Frosted Stitch. And I am using Sea Anemone. Under the dome caped up.
It's so pretty. And look at these two together. All of a sudden, all those berry pinks are popping out.
And the Lost Empire.
Oh, love, 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 love.
So, and I'm really quite proud of myself because, you know, crochet is not my first craft. So far I've gotten.
That's very pretty.
And I have done each of the stitches in the pattern so that I know I'm going to be able to do this.
Okay. It's okay. We can do it.
Right. Because it's a lot of half double crochets, but then there's one where you're half double crocheting through the third loop. So that one took a little bit. That's what creates this row here, where it almost looks like a knit stitch going across. And then there are these beans. And then there are crosses. All using half double crochets. So, but I've got them. I've got it to the point where I actually, she has a very good stitch guide that tells you exactly how many stitches you're supposed to have when you're done each row.
That's good.
So that I can keep track and know that I'm keeping on target. So I'm probably 3/4 of the way through this first section with just Sea Anemone, and then I'll start bringing in it under the dome.
Okay, cool.
So,
I thought for a minute you were going to say that you were 3/4 of the way done, and this is not going to be a very big shawl.
it's a little fig leaf.
No, it's beautiful.
No, it's just the first section. So
All right, cool. Very, very cool.
I really love how the Sea Anemone is crocheting up.
All the different shades of it.
Yeah.
It's really pretty. Pretty, pretty color. All right. Okay, so for our patrons on our Patreon page, for the 2 top tiers of Patreon, we're going to be having a knit night. It's going to be this Friday, June 24th at 4 p.m. We are going to be working on these. If you haven't cast on yet, or if you have started yours and you want to bring yours to the party, come join us. Helen's going to put the link down below so you can join us if you'd like.
It's going to be the link to Patreon, so if you haven't joined our Patreon and you want to come join, one of the perks is that we have the monthly knit nights. So also, if you are just starting and you have any questions about the patterns or anything like that, one of the reasons Mary Beth and I also started early was so that we could answer questions and know what people were talking about, me in particular, because I have no idea what I'm doing with crochet.
Yeah.
So
if you would like to join us, go over to the Patreon page, sign up over there, and join us for this this knitting party that we're having.
right.
So yeah, top 2 tiers of Patreon, you guys get to come join us.
Somebody asked me for the Crochet Along if we're going to have a hashtag, and I'm just using Toad Hollow and then all caps CAL at the Toad Hollow CAL for that.
Okay. I should probably put up pictures of mine, and then I'll add a hashtag Toad Hollow KAL.
Okay,
Then
so
along.
hashtags are Toad Hollow CAL, Toad Hollow
KAL.
KAL. So we can all follow along on Facebook and Instagram.
Right.
And
I need to put up pictures in Crafting with the Toads because it looks so pretty. You guys have to see it. So,
yeah, I've only done me caking everything up.
Okay.
And I have mine in my Daydream drawstring bag.
If you are not a member of our Toad Hollow Crafting with the Toads over on Facebook, you should come join us because it's a great group of makers, and they put up beautiful pictures of things that they're making.
And if
we
you
do
have
not.
questions, people put up questions all the time, like, hey, has anybody knit this pattern? I ran into a snag here. And sometimes we can answer, but most of the time the fellow group members get to it before we do, which is really very nice.
Because they know the answer.
No, I mean, sometimes we know the answer, but it's just that sometimes we don't see it for hours.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's a great group of people.
Also, you get to see all the pretty things that people are making and get very jealous.
Right.
One of the things that people are putting up are their choices for what they're going to be making the Helen Stewart Mystery Knit Along, or they've already started with their Helen Stewart Mystery Knit Along, and they're putting up pictures of their yarn, and oh my god.
Right.
Some of the pictures, some of the choices that you guys have made are gorgeous.
And choices for the Crochet Along and the Knit Along. So.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to show you my Helen Stewart because I got started. I am doing mine in the Enchanted Forest Tweed colors. I have Thorny Bushes, the Ents, Magic Mushrooms, and the Guardian of the Forest. Those are the 4 that I am doing. You know how I like my blends, so this is all blending.
Okay,
but
if you haven't started your Helen Stewart and you don't want to know what it looks like, avert your gaze.
Okay.
However, I think you're 3 clues in.
Wow, it's been a while since that's
I was
happened.
going to say, strap yourselves in. It's going to be a long one, guys.
Yeah, obviously we are going quite a while because
Our camera just went out.
yeah, we exceeded the limit. However, the Helen Stewart, she just released the 3rd pattern today. I am about 2/3 of the way through the first clue. So
this
anybody
should not
who's
be
been
any
doing
kind
this,
of spoiler.
yeah. All right, so here we go. Are you ready? Oh, this is so pretty.
So pretty.
So pretty. Right, here we go. That is how far I am. That's what I'm doing so far.
So this is Thorny Bushes, the Guardian,
And that's
and
Magic
then
Mushrooms.
So Ents comes in after the second
Yep.
clue, right?
The Ents may be my final bit of this clue.
Oh,
I think
okay.
the 4th
Okay.
color is my final bit of this clue. But look at that. Aren't they gorgeous together? This collection is just one of my favorite that we've ever done. And I'm not even using Fairy Pool or Fairy Steeds, which are 2 of my favorites.
Right.
But these 4 colors together, this will be the Ents, so that's going to be the 4th one to come in, are just, oh, I love
Gorgeous.
these together.
Yeah.
I really, this is a pretty one. This is a very pretty one. So that's
2
that's
totally
where I
different
am.
color stories you got going. With
I
your brights
know.
and then your soft muted foresty.
Oh my god, but this, I love this so much. All right, so there you go. Those are my knitting projects. I was so proud of myself. I was almost done clue 1. And then I realized today, oh look, here comes clue number 3. However, a little bit at a time. Every day I do a little bit. I did have to take out a couple of rows because I'm going to talk about something next. And
Focus was divided.
yeah, it was very hard to keep my eyes on it. Okay, what are you doing next?
My journal.
Okay.
Okay, so we are members of Illumicrate. It's a mystery book box that we get from England every month.
I love mystery boxes.
Yes. And what you do is each month you get a book, and then you get booky related items in it. And one month we got a journal, but it's a blackout journal, so it's all black pages. And then I follow on TikTok a company called Of Aspen, and they do what they call it's a mystery pen thing every so often. What they do, they have a chest, and they call it the Kraken, and they just throw a ton of pens in the Kraken, and then you join the mystery and you get 7-10 pens each month from the Kraken. So there's just mystery pens, but they had one, long story short, last month it was all pens for the blackout journals, and I'm like, oh, we got a blackout
Perfect.
journal, blackout pens. I have no idea what to do with the blackout journal, so I'll get the blackout pens. So I got a little pouch of blackout pens. So the first thing I did was I just did a sample of the blackout pens. You will notice that there's a lot more than what I got. What I got stopped here. That was from the Kraken. And then I'm like, okay, so now what am I going to do with it? And then I thought, you know what I'm going to do is I take all these pictures on my phone, I'm going to print some of them out, and I'm going to just make it like a little photo journal. So that's what I've got so far. But you know, there's my crochet along. We made waffles one morning.
There's my dog.
There's my dog whom I love. Who's looking like Snoopy. My flowers that are blooming so pretty. My very adult shopping cart where I have balls for my dog and several half gallons of ice cream. Cookies, more flowers. So as I go along through my life, all the pictures I take on my phone, I will print out and put in my journal. So of course, once I decided what the purpose of the journal was, I had to buy all the pens. So that's what I went through this morning and filled them up. So I got sparkle pens. I got moonlight jelly bowl pens. These are all meant just for blackout journals. Oh, actually, they work on both, but they do work on blackout journals. And then I have metallic pens. So, you know, all in.
It's such a great thing to do, though.
I
love that.
And I just love how the pictures
show against
the black.
Yes.
And the little doodles and everything like that. It makes me happy.
Yes. And it's so pretty, and you can go back and look through and be like, oh, I remember when we made waffles,
Exactly.
or I remember when we made these cookies, that kind of thing. Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
And our birds, which Marybeth's going to talk about, an app that she found. So I know that that's a gray catbird. That's Wesley. So just lots of fun.
Yeah. So what I'm going to be doing is ordering a blackout journal so that I could do this too, because, you know, all for one and one for all.
Right. So, and one of the things we're working on is a little pouch that's going to house all my pens.
That's that's the next thing we're working on. It's in pieces right now, but it's one of the So Sweetness things that's an art holder that holds all different pens and pencils and things like that. So we're very excited to finish that and show you that probably next time.
Right.
All right. In my journal news, I have my journal that my sister number 3, gave me for Christmas that I have been using for all sorts of things. A lot of reading stuff. Like I have my bookshelf and some of my reading.
She finished her 50th book of the year the other day.
Yes. I have a couple of book challenges that I've been doing. See here, colored in book number 50. My goal is to read 70 for the year. I think I'm going to exceed that a little bit. I have my pixel of the day where I have each color corresponds with a different feeling. So green is a good day, blue is a productive day, orange is just another day type of thing. So I have a whole bunch of things in here. At one point I was keeping track of how many steps I took during the month and my sleep pattern. So I had my sleep tracker, and then something showing how many steps I took. But then I realized after last month that really I'm not going back and seeing those. I don't care about that. What I do is I'm really interested in how many books did I read this month, and then book reviews.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing I am doing with it. One of the things I am doing is
And
I'm
the different
keeping
book challenges, I find those interesting to see, you know, I'm not reading to the book challenge, but in the books that I choose to read, how many can I fill in?
right.
Because I'm not going to, you know, read a book just specifically to fill in a line on a book challenge.
Yeah,
But
but sometimes it's
can I,
interesting to
throughout
look.
a year, complete the whole book challenge?
Right. So one of the things I do is I write down what I've been doing, like entertainment wise for the month. What did we watch? Did we go to the movies? That kind of thing. And this summer we have decided that we want to watch a whole bunch of movies. Not so much go to the movies, but just watch movies. There's tons of things that we want to see that we haven't seen, or that we really loved and we want to go back and see again. So what we did was we made a box
can't do my warranty right now. I'm podcasting.
We made a box, filled it with suggestions, and every night we pick out a suggestion.
And our theme right now is summer blockbuster type of movies. Some are and some aren't, but they kind of fit that category.
Yeah. So what I did was I made a spread for all the different movies that we've been watching. And we started with, like, we did Top Gun because we knew we wanted to go see Top Gun Maverick. So we went and saw that in the movie theater, but I did Top Gun. And then we started with Ocean's 11, and then we just went through and did Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13, and Ocean's 8.
Probably should have stopped at 11.
I didn't mind 8.
Oh, 8,
That was
8
fun.
didn't send me at all, but...
We did Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. We did Paddington 1 and 2, which we have not seen yet. And I loved.
Yeah,
Really loved Paddington.
our brother is staying with us, and we had picked something else that night from the jar. And we come in, and he's like, yeah, I called an audible. We're doing Paddington.
Right. So we did Paddington. We did Luca. That's such a good movie.
Yeah.
It's on Disney Plus. It's such a good movie. And right now, we are in the midst of Bourne. We did the Bourne Identity. We did the Bourne Ultimatum. I think we are doing the Bourne
Whatever
Supremacy
the third is
tomorrow.
tonight.
No, it's HET tonight. God, America's Got Talent. We have made my brother sit down and watch America's Got Talent. He's pooed it left and right, and we made him sit down, and now he makes us pause it when he has to get up and do something because he's like, I don't want to miss it.
Usually he'll get up and he'll be like, yeah, no, don't worry about it. Don't pause it. You guys don't have to
Yeah.
pause it. And we get up and like, you want us to pause it? Yes.
Gotten totally sucked in. So anyway, so this is one of the things that I'm doing, and I'm really enjoying it because I kind of do doodles of Paddington and Rango and that kind of thing.
And it's so fun to go back and see what
Yeah.
we saw. And
I put
I think it's
just
such a
little
great
notes.
idea.
Like for Top Gun, I put down great music, lots of testosterone, because that is such a bro-y movie.
yeah, it's just a little too broad.
And for Vivo, I put down, this is definitely a Lin-Manuel Miranda musical, but I loved it. I am in. Guardians of the Galaxy, best movie so far this summer. The cast works perfectly together. You know, just little notes like that so that I can keep an
and
idea.
Paddington was so fun.
I just
both Paddingtons
totally
were so
love
good.
those.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I have.
I love you've got him floating in the water for the Bourne Identity.
That's how it starts. There's a body floating in the water, so that's what I did. I have Paddington 1, so much fun, loved it, and then Paddington 2, even better than the first. It really has. It has a nearly perfect Rotten Tomato score because it had 100% Rotten Tomatoes until one rotten reviewer came through and gave it a bad review. But Hugh Grant is just having a ball in this. So much fun. Anyway, so that's what I've been doing in my journal. That was one of the things that I wanted to show because I've been enjoying doing that every day. And then I've been keeping up on my my reviews, my book reviews, so that I can go back and
I caught up
see
on those the other day.
what I've been doing.
Because I had not been doing my journal at all. So I caught up on my pixels and my books finished. So
Cool. So that's that. Okay, what's next?
I am done.
You're done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have a couple of things that we wanted to share with you that we found through people talking about it online. The first is an app called Merlin, Merlin, and it's to recognize birds in your area. For those of you that have been watching us for a while, you know that we feed the birds every day. In each of the different places that we've been, we start and we put out bird feeders and we make sure that we feed them, and you can hear a large group of birds
As a matter of fact, we have casement windows that you crank open, and I have 3 house finches sitting on top of the casement window, just beyond the
singing to
camera,
us.
just sitting up there.
So this app called Merlin, it's from the University of Cornell Ornithology Department, and it helps you identify birds. One of the ways you can do is take a picture, and then it will go in and identify it for you. Another way is you can describe it, tell them what size it is, the colors, that kind of thing, and they will help you figure out what it is. And the third way you do it is you hit record and it listens to the bird song, and then it will identify the bird by the bird song that's going through. And if you have more than one bird type singing at the same time, it will tell you. The other day I had a house finch, an American robin, and a brown sparrow. I think those were the three. And it was telling me as each bird sang, that bird's bar lit up, so I knew which song went with each one. It's fascinating.
I just have it going on the kitchen table when the windows are open, and I'm like, oh, look, we have house sparrows.
And
today.
there's an American crow.
Right.
Going caw in the background.
You do have to download a certain amount, a large chunk
Yes.
to your phone, just so you know ahead of time.
So that if you...
It's a free app, but you do have to take up some of your memory on your
Right.
phone.
So if you are close to the end of your memory, think twice before doing this because it does take a chunk.
Because what it does is it says you're in the Northeast, so download all the information from the Northeast birds, kind of thing.
But that
it's
way,
so much fun.
it has all the information that it can draw on so that when it's listening to the song, it can pull it.
Right. And yesterday I took the picture of the catbird in the app, and it's like, oh, that's a gray catbird. I'm like, okay, cool.
Now I know what that is.
Right.
So that is something fun that if you're into birds, you might want to look into, because it's just really interesting to have it going, and you can look down and say, oh, okay, that's a new one. We
Yeah.
haven't had that yet.
Right.
You know? And then it's cool. It's very cool. And then our other app that we found is called Book Tracker. Now, for those of you that are big readers, you may already know about this. We just found out about it. Our good friend Claire told us that our semi-local, and by semi-local I mean it's an hour and a half away from us, Barnes & Noble was having a sale because they're moving to a new location, so all their stuff in the store was on sale. And we were heading north anyway.
So there was a sale, and they'd honor, if you're a member, they honor the member discount on top of the sale.
So we were heading north. We figured, why not stop? So we did, and we got a whole bunch of books.
Right.
But then, as I was writing them in my journal, I'm like, I am really worried that I already have these books because some of these covers look very familiar. And I thought, I wonder if there's got to be an app somewhere that will let you track what books you have that you bought, so that when you're at the bookstore, you can look at it and say, no, don't get that, idiot. You already have 2 copies of it. Because there is a book that we have 3 copies because we bought it, went to Barnes & Noble another time, bought it again because it had a really pretty cover, and then went to Barnes & Noble another time and bought a 3rd copy of it because it had a really pretty cover.
Because we buy books, we don't read them.
Yes. So I have since read that book. It was a good book. I'm not sure it's good enough to have 3 copies of. I think we sent one to sister number 3 and passed one to my mother. So everybody, it
was
worked
fun.
out. But this one is called Book Tracker.
And it's a little, because Goodreads and Storygraph will all do the same thing. This one is just for what you're about to talk about. I find it the easiest and to navigate through once you get the books in the app.
Right, because with Storygraph and Goodreads, does that have a place for you to put books that you own?
You can, yeah.
You can? I've just never done it.
You've just kind of go through a couple different steps. To
Oh,
do
okay.
It, so.
Well, with this one, it has the thing that you just scan the barcode of your book, and it pops up with all the information.
Right.
All you have to do is scan a barcode, hit in my library.
I went through like 3 stacks of books in 2 minutes.
Yeah, it takes no time at all. And now you have your library with you. You can also make a wish list so that if you have a book that you want, because we got out of the Barnes & Noble and we're driving up to Montclair, and Helen said, I had 2 books that I wanted to buy, and I didn't get either of them.
I didn't even look at it. I didn't even look for them. It was just like, ooh, sale, buy all the books.
Right.
And then it was like, oh, my arms are full. We have to go.
Right. So that way, you can have a wish list so that the next time you go to the bookstore, or if somebody is like, oh, it's your birthday, what do you want? Here's my wish list.
Right.
Boom. There you go.
And we're going to a book event at a bookstore this week.
Right.
And so I will get them from that bookstore instead.
Okay. Next week.
Is it next week?
Next week, the
Next
28th.
week.
We're going to Booktown in Manasquan. Linda Holmes, who is a podcaster for NPR, NPR, National Public Radio. That's it. NPR. She does pop cultural happy hour, but she is also an author, and she's coming to talk about one of her books. So we're gonna go
stalk her.
Yeah, because
we should be friends.
we should be. Also, I like her books.
Yeah.
I loved her first book, and this is the second one, so we're really excited to get it.
Yeah.
All right, so
It was actually at Barnes & Noble, and I'm like, don't get that. You're
going to Booktown.
and you want to pay Booktown for the book that
Right.
you're going to see.
So we're gonna do that next Wednesday.
Yeah.
The 28th.
We're going on the
We're going on the 28th. Okay. I think that's it.
Okay.
Oh my God. You guys, this is almost an hour.
It's a long one. We should take time off a little more often. And
I know.
like
Look at all this
actually
stuff that we have to
stuff
show.
that we did. So
Yeah. Cool.
and look at my mandolin.
Beautiful.
I've been admiring it behind me. I'm so
It's
excited.
really pretty.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we hope you guys have a wonderful week,
Go forth and create.
and we will see you
Friday?
Friday,
probably?
maybe?
Yeah, probably Friday.
Okay.
So
We're still on staycation.
yeah.
Who knows?
And if you want to join our knit night, just come join us on Patreon, and you can. We'll be putting the Zoom link in Patreon. So
Okay. All right. Have a great week.
we will talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.